Yeah, good morning, everyone. US market continue to remain positive in yesterday's trade. Though futures are a bit soft today, considering that the FOMC meeting is uh, there on second and third, that is starting from today, and there will be statement from FOMC tomorrow, and also employment data on Friday. So considering all that, the long positive run up, which has happened because of very good results in the US, is maybe taking some pause here, and will depend on how the FOMC meeting will pan out. US, in Asian markets are mixed. We are seeing positiveness in Hong Kong and Korea, but other markets are down today. Even if we see the commodity, iron ore is down substantially by over 7%, and steel is down by around 3.5% in China. This is mainly because of increased inventory at port of iron ore and reduced production by steel companies in China. So that is bringing down the prices of steel to one of the lowest in last 5-6 months. This is the lower steel prices are having some impact in international market, but not major. We had seen European steel prices are correcting. That has come down from around 1400 peak to around 1100, $1,150. Whereas US market steel prices are not softening. And even in India also, we are not witnessing any major decline, or on the contrary, we are seeing increasing steel prices, mainly because of increase in the cost. So it's not necessarily that China will have impact on all other market as well. So we had seen very good bounce back yesterday, but going into the event, we may see some sideway movement or some profit booking in near term. So I'll request technical team to take up from here.
Yes, thank you, sir. Good morning, all of you. This is Swati. First of all, wish you all happy Diwali and have a safe Diwali at your places. Yesterday, we have seen a great bounce back rally on the Nifty and the Bank Nifty front. Nifty manages to surpass 17,900 marks on the closing basis, which gives some sort of a relief sign. Yesterday, we have seen gains were supported by the banks, IT, metal, reality, and the telecom stocks. Even the fact that all the sectoral indices has ended in a positive note, which gives a very good sign on the technical setups. Today, the market is likely to open on a flattish note, and we might witness some range-bound trading session during a day. Going ahead on the technical front, 18,000 will act as a crucial resistance level. If it's break that level, then this pullback rally is likely to be extended towards 18,100 to 18,200 levels on the higher sides. Whereas on the lower end, 17,000, immediately 17,800 will be the first support level. Below that level, 18,700 levels can be seen once again. So the overall view will remain a positive to the sideways as long as Nifty sustains above 17,800 level, which is the immediate support level on the Nifty side. The overall view is positive, as I said, but it's a stock specific market. Stocks are really doing very well. There are some stocks which are showing a great bounce back rally from the support level. So try to pick those stocks which are really doing very well on the fundamental as well as on the technical end and showing a consolidation breakouts. Even we are initiating good buy calls. I will just suggest two buy call for today also. But before that, I would like to give a important support and resistance levels for the Bank Nifty and the Nifty Finance. We have seen that the Nifty Finance has even shown a good bounce back rally above 40,000 levels. 40,000 was the crucial resistance level. Yesterday also we emphasized the same. And yesterday we have seen that the Bank Nifty has maintained closing above that level marginally by above 40,000 level. Now going ahead, 40,300 will be the immediate resistance level. Any move above that level, we expect this pullback rally to be extended towards 40,500 to 40,700 levels. Whereas on lower side, 39,800 will be the first support level. Below that level, 39,500 levels can be seen. So these are the important support and resistance level on the Nifty and the Bank Nifty. Coming towards the Nifty Finance, for today intraday purpose, 18,940 will be the first level to watch out. If it's break that level, then 19,100, 19,200 levels can be seen on the Nifty Finance. Whereas on the lower side, 18,700 will be the first support. Below that level, we are likely to see some profit booking, which might take a Nifty Finance towards 18,600 to 18,500 levels. Coming towards the stock specific, Siemens is really doing very well. Yesterday, it has just shown up a good pullback rally from the important support levels. I believe it has a potential to reach up to 2,300 to 2,320 levels on the higher sides. So those who have just want to take a buy call, they can just initiate a fresh long position into the Siemens for a target of 2,300 to 2,320. Stop loss can be kept at 2,200. Second buy call I would like to initiate on the Bata India. From last few days, we are continuously witnessing a sideways momentum into the Bata, and yesterday it has given a very good consolidation breakout of 2,000 levels. I believe it has a potential to reach up to 2,060 to 2,100 levels on the higher sides. So one can take a long position into the Bata India for a target of 2,060 and stop loss can be kept at 1,970. I think that's it from my end. I request derivative guys to take a call forward.
Yeah, thank you, Swati. Good morning, everyone. This is Amit Tani. So, as per yesterday's derivative data, we have mentioned in the monthly report only that Nifty is facing very low OI positions. So, short bounce back will be witnessed very soon in the market. And in yesterday's trading session, same scenario it happened in the market. But now, as we look into the OI positions, we are seeing that 18,000 strike is still holding a strong call writer position. So till the time 18,000 strike positions of call writers not getting shifted towards 18,200, 300 levels, till that point of time, 18,000 to 18,050 will act as the important resistance zone for next 2 to 3 trading sessions. Once the Nifty gives close above 18,000 level or gets stable above 18,000 level, then only we might witness the next level for Nifty would be 18,200 level on the high upper front. On the downside, we are seeing that the Nifty holds strong support at 17,800 level. In yesterday's trading session, we have witnessed that almost 25 lakh positions of a put writer got added up at 17,800 levels. The 17,800 will act as an important support for Nifty for current coming trading sessions. Um, as we look into the PCROI yesterday closed at 0.90 level. So PCROI again came in the range of 0.85 to 0.95 level. PCROI is also having a strength to move upper end towards the 0.98 to 1 level. So we might witness some positive movement in today's trading session also. So hold your long positions with the support of 17,800 level. After many days, we have witnessed that FI came into selling. Again, FIs are continuously into selling zone. In the month of October, also we witnessed that FIs are almost 25,000 crore into selling session. In yesterday's trading session, also we witnessed that FI almost sold around 202 crore positions. So that is a concerning sign. Only FIs and India weeks, these two data points are concerning sign. Overall, rest of the data points are showing some positive strength in the market. So hold your long positions. As per the stock specific, we expect PSU banks are doing really well from that selective bank SBI. SBI had given a major breakout in yesterday's trading session with the continuous supportive addition of the OI position. We expect SBI to perform really well in coming trading sessions. So first buy call and first view for positive stock would be on FI, SBI. Second one would be HCL Tech, and third one would be Apollo Tyre. This three counter looks positive for coming trading sessions. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Yesterday, Chambal came out with the results, and results were above expectations, mainly because the EBITDA margins came at 16% versus expectation of 13.8%. The sales also grew by 12%, and though the stock is trading at 9%, this is something we believe that should do well in today's trade. Parag Milk Foods announced their results, and results have improved after a long time. So sales was not much higher, at just 7% higher. The margins were at 10% versus last year 8%. Bayer Crop Science results were below expectations. Sales was muted at 1,365 crores. The EBITDA margin was a major disappointment, which came at 16% versus last year 21.5%. The street expectations was 18.6%. Sequent Scientific announced the results, and this is the, I think, third quarter when the results are not so good. Result is actually declining. Sales was flat at 351 crores. However, the margins came down at 5.6% versus 16.8 last year and 6.3 last quarter. The con call is scheduled at 9 now, so we'll get to know more details about it. Whirlpool India announced the results, and results were below expectations, mainly on account of EBITDA margins, like we have seen with the other OEMs and white goods companies also. The inflation is quite high, and which impacted the EBITDA margins. Devyani International announced the results, and results have improved. The sales grew because of low base, so that we don't think that is the right parameter to consider. The EBITDA margins also improved to 24% versus 19.5 last year. Another development about the PEI Industries is that the business transfer agreement with InSwift Labs has been cancelled due to the non-fulfillment of predefined conditions, which the company expected from InSwift. The company said they would continue to evaluate M&A opportunities ahead. However, we believe this is negative sentiment, though nothing, no financial implication, but the PI was expected to move the value chain with this acquisition, and now with this terminated, they have to start again from the scratch. So that is why we believe this is a negative sentiment for PI. Thank you.
Good morning. Yesterday we had discussed auto numbers that were estimated for October. So most of the numbers that came out were in line with expectations. Two companies that stood out were first Maruti, where numbers were 20% ahead of estimates. So we feel that now going forward, the chip shortage problem will improve with every coming month. And so was the case with M&M Auto Division, where numbers were above estimates. So we feel that PV industry as such should see improvement going forward. Rest all the numbers were in line. HDFC Limited result was in line with expectation. Overall loan growth was 11%, while individual loan growth was at 15%. On disbursement front, individual disbursement grew by 43% year on year. And on asset quality side, gross NPS declined from 2.2 to 2%. However, restructured loans increased from 0.9 to 1.4%. So this trend is in line with what the street had expected. Company is bullish on growth accelerating going forward and expects credit costs to come down in future. So we are positive on HDFC Limited. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. All Cargo Logistics has provided with numbers, and the company has posted above expectation numbers both on the revenue and the margin front. KPI Technologies has posted improved set of numbers both on the revenue and the margin front, with dollar revenue coming in at $8.4 million versus QOQ of $77.2 million. Share is trading at 27.1 times FY23 EPS. VRL Logistics has posted above expectation numbers for the quarter, with revenue growth coming in at 53.8% Q on Q. Growth was supported by growth in all the segments and majorly from the goods transport and the bus operation segment. Even margins have improved drastically to 17.8% versus expectation of 14.9%. Share is trading at 20 times FY23 EPS. Dollar Industries has posted improved set of numbers for the quarter, and the management has also increased the guidance from revenue growth guidance from 13 to 15% to 15 to 17%, and management indicates that they would try to beat this number. Even margin guidance has been improved to 14.5 to 15% to 15 to 16%. On the similar lines, Lux Industries has posted improved set of numbers for the quarter, both on the revenue and the margin front. Share is trading at 31.1 times FY23 EPS. The call will be held today for Lux Industries, wherein the further details would be shared. Thank you.
Good morning. Kalyani Steel reported declining set of numbers. EBITDA came at 85.6 crores versus 96 crores quarter on quarter. Margin also declined at 18.6% versus 25% sequentially. Star Cement result was okay. JK Lakshmi Cement had its phone call yesterday, wherein the management has guided an increase in volume by 5 to 8% and EBITDA per ton to be around 850 to 900 per ton in second half of FY22. Realization for the quarter was higher due to lower sales in the east, wherein the dispatches were impacted due to illegal transport strike, wherein the company had lost 17 days in the month of October. However, the management is confident of recovering the lost days in quarter three. The company took a price hike of ₹20 per bag in October and will further increase the price post Diwali. The company repaid debt of rupees 330 crores in JK Lakshmi and rupees 20 crores in UCWL, which is its subsidiary, out of which 130 crores has been repaid in the first half. We are neutral on this company. Apart from this, Coal India came out with its volume numbers for October month. The sales volume came at 56.7 million ton versus 48 million ton, up by 17% year on year and 12% month on month. This is positive for the company. NMDC also came out with its volume numbers, wherein the sales volume came at 3.58 million ton, up by 2.7% month on month and 42% year on year. Other than this, Grasim has announced commissioning of a new line of 300 ton per day capacity of VSF and has commenced the commercial production from 1st November. With this, the total VSF capacity has increased from 591,000 ton to 7,500 ton per annum. The company has also commissioned the first phase of expansion project at Rela, Jharkhand in October with capacity of 170 ton per day caustic soda line. With this, the total caustic soda capacity of the company has increased from 1147 to 1209 kiloton per annum. This is positive for the company. Thank you.
Yeah, apart from this, a few more companies like Tata Motor came up with the numbers, and as expected, JLR performance was subdued. It was marginally below than expectation as well, whereas India operation continued to improve and show good performance. But management has indicated that going forward from here, the bottom is there and things will start improving from Q3 and Q4 as well. And they had indicated that H2 sales in the JLR will be higher than H1 and they will be a bit positive in H2. So overall seems bottom is there and now things should start improving for Tata Motor from here. The Indian operations continue to do well and is likely to continue to do well in the coming period as well. The CV business, they are continuously gaining market share, and even in passenger vehicle also they are continuously gaining market share. So Indian business is anyhow doing very well, and EV business they had done a deal and they are doing the basic formalities or the initial work so that they can get first tranche of money from the investor. That is around 7,500 crore rupees, and with that they will start further investment in the EV business aggressively. The recent launch of Punch is well received by the market and has a very good order booking for the same. So overall outlook for Tata Motors seems to be positive from here. Apart from that, Bajaj Consumer came up with the numbers, and the numbers were below expectations. In fact, the gross margin somehow held up at last quarter level, which is one of the lowest, but it didn't decline from there as expected. The market was expecting that the gross margin can come under a bit pressure, but that has not happened. Though EBITDA margin quarter on quarter declined mainly because of the higher other expenses, I think maybe because of higher ad spend which the company might have done in this quarter, and as such margin has come to lowest in many quarter. Apart from that, the key problem was of the volume growth. This quarter the volume growth declined by 0.7%. Management earlier has indicated that they are targeting double-digit growth in the volume, which has not happened, and because of that the stock can remain under pressure for some time. Today we have a call from the management, and we'll update post that call. So all these negatives are there, partly driven by the industry phenomena and lower growth. But the valuation seems to be quite low right now. It is trading at 13 times FY23 earning, which looks very cheap. So that may restrict downside for the stock in the near term. Apart from that, one of the issue which is opened yesterday, that is SGS Enterprise. Here the company is into auto and auto ancillary and also supplying to the consumer durable. Mainly they are in the aesthetic or decorative products. The size of the company is not so big, revenue of around 300 crores, but they have a very good margins of EBITDA margins of over 25% consistently, and the growth is also there. The key point to note is that even in FY21, when all the auto ancillaries were declining, the company has reported growth of around 16% year on year on organic basis. Plus, they had done some acquisition also in the last year, which has further increased the revenue base for them. Apart from that, the capacity utilization of the company is low at around 50%, as company had done large investment in FY18 and 19 to expand the capacity, which wherein the capital investment has already happened. So with the improvement of the economy and the auto cycle, they will not be required to invest much of the amount, and this will improve their return ratios. Right now the ROE is at around 16% and ROC is at around 24%. So these can improve with the increase in capacity utilizations. So overall valuation point also looks attractive as compared to other auto ancillary. On trailing basis, it is trading at around 31 times or 32 times, whereas the other companies in this basket are trading anywhere between 35 to 39 times. So valuation also is in favor. Only concern is that the promoter and the private equity promoter both are divesting large amount of their holding. Almost around 49% of their holding they are divesting, and the promoter will be holding around 50% post this IPO. So that is a bit concerning, but fundamentally the stock looks positive. So we had recommended the stock from the long-term perspective. One can apply into the stock with a long-term perspective. So that's all from us. Thank you very much, and have a good day.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel for in-depth interviews of India Inc. and press the bell icon so that you do not miss our updates.